Hi guys, Bobby and Vinny here from Peak Performance Academy, and today's Coach's Corner: long term equals better short term.
So point number one, plan long term. And this could be something if you've a wedding in a year or 2 years coming up, or something if you're trying to plan long term for your health. So kind of look towards the future and don't look at these things you see on social media with 6, 10 or even 12-week kind of transformations. They're kind of short term and they're never really exactly what they make out to be. Look at your time schedule, the goal, how specific it is. Go back to your SMART acronym, give yourself a time frame and make it realistic.
Yeah, and that comes back to this point on point number 2. When, and the saying goes, I heard a really good saying this week on a podcast, that long-term thinkers make better short-term choices, and that's what this is all about, that somebody's in there for the long term. The short-term decisions are going to be a lot better because they're thinking months and a year ahead. We'll say if it's a year's time, I want to have this amount of weight lost, I want to feel better, I want all my health markers in position and in good place. And from that thing, their day-to-day choices seem to be better. They make better choices because they're not under as much pressure. There's less stress because the goal is a long-term goal, not a short-term goal. And like Vinny was saying, a lot of these transformations, and like we do one here within the gym, and it's the Peak Physique program, it's 3 months. But what we do is we have everybody that has came on that program is prior training. They've been training for that period of time, so they've built up to that point where their body's in a position to adapt and actually transform. So that's how that system can work really well. But again, it's a long-term system. And going back to my point there on the short-term decisions is when you get less stress and there isn't that timeline coming in 6 weeks, you are going to make better choices because you will feel more motivated, you'll feel better. That stress of that thing coming in 6 weeks can put a lot of pressure on people, and then they just let it build, and then the bad decisions start to creep in.
And that kind of brings on to the third point, which is long-lasting change. So when you've given yourself this kind of longer time, that you're not putting this short amount of time frame on it, this is where you build your better habits, you kind of create better relationships with food, and it all comes from just thinking down the line. And this stuff, this 6 weeks and 10 weeks is it seems to be very simple, A to B, but it never goes through what barriers you're gonna come across, what obstacles you're gonna come along the way, and how you're gonna plan for them. So that's why it's easier to plan for the long term. When you see these obstacles, how are we gonna do when this happens? How are we gonna get over this? How are we gonna move on? It could be work, it could be you could have a newborn child. There's a lot of people who come recently, newborn kids, they want to get back into it, and how are they going to change their lifestyle around that.
Yeah, and that's a good point, is that when you have somebody, for instance, that has been pregnant for 9 months, that should be definitely a long-term goal to get your body shape back, because if that's short-term, you're only going to put your body under massive stress, which it has been for the last 9 months. You've been carrying a child, you've been through birth of that child. So somebody, for instance, we use that as an example, that's definitely a long-term goal there. You shouldn't put pressure on yourself. Give your body time to adapt to the new change, not having a child inside you anymore, and obviously your eating habits are going to change, and you've built eating habits over that 9 months as well, so you need to change that process as well, because you might have been taking on a little bit extra calories for the baby, and now you don't have to as such. So that's going to be really important, and that's a good one to think about, is that person definitely should have long-term goals. But I think everybody should have long-term goals because it's better for motivation, and 100% everything we do with all our clients here, and the transformation pictures you see, they're all long-term people that are with us for a good period of time, and that's why the results are there, because you're giving your body time to adapt first. You're prepping your body for that initial goal that you want to achieve. If it is weight loss, if it's body composition, if it's muscle gain, if it's whatever it is, if it's performance based. Like, nobody goes out onto a sports field or a sporting event and is an absolute super athlete straight away. It's long term, it's building a skill. It's the same thing that happens, and I think we're too quick to want everything so fast, because we're in a world of everything is instant. Information, you want to know something, it's seconds. We can find out something, and that's the problem. That's the way society is now, and I think it really catches people in terms of when they look at like a body composition goal, they think, oh, no problem, I can do this. They put so much pressure on themselves, they go all in, and the problem is there's no leeway there, and then when the pressure gets just too much, they break, and that's why you see an awful lot of people rebounding on their diets and stuff like that. And again, just crash dieting, minimal calories, body's under a massive amount of stress. Yes, you will lose weight short term, long term it's all going to come back again, and that's why it happens.
And a bonus point, so give yourself a chance for the long-term change. So we all want something now. It's just the way society is these days. But 8 months or a year might seem like a long time, but when you take a step back, realize in the grand scheme of things, your next 10, 15, 20 years of your life, it's only a small time frame. So giving yourself that time to change, and don't try and strive to be perfect in the first couple of weeks. Just strive for progression each and every week as you go on, and learn as you go.
Exactly, and like I said to you guys, if somebody out there has a goal that they want to achieve, please think long term. Don't just think short term. It's no problem setting these short term mini goals, which we would do with all our clients. But they're little mini goals. They're easy enough to achieve, and maybe sometimes as they get a bit more experience and the body adapts a bit more, you can put a little bit of a higher level goal on them. But most of the time it's these mini goals along the way, but it's always that bigger picture. Like if you have a whiteboard at home or something at home, draw that big circle with a big goal, and then point off of what am I going to do, all these steps, months, to get that main point in the middle, and that's really, really important. So if we could give any bit of advice to anybody, play the long game. Remember, long-term thinkers make better short-term decisions. Okay guys, if you like what you hear, you find us at peakperformancekillarney.com, on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're also on Snapchat, and you'll find all our videos on our YouTube channel, Peak Performance Killarney. Thanks for listening guys.